And once again, this is week 4 for the Wednesday class of the core class. And we have with us Amber and Sophia, who just dropped out, but I'm sure will be right back. And on Sunday, we were talking about the Hermetic principle of vibration. We were talking about the element of earth, and we were talking about our belief systems. Um, Amber, can you go over your belief systems again?
Sure. Um, I was saying that I believe that there is a creator, and it's a combination of a male and female. I believe in duality, so I believe that the creator created everything with duality and purpose because most of us have male and female aspects to our chemical makeup. And I think that the creator almost the creator must also have those things. Plus, I believe in angels. Now, whether they were before the creator or not, I don't think they're before it because I think the creator created everything. And I'm not sure how, except it was done by verbal and energy. It was That's how things were created. It would also fit the mental aspect of the Hermetic principle as well. And according to the laws of the universe. And so the angels, I used to call them in the directions when I did rituals. I still do sometimes, but I've had their help with several serious spells that I've done in the past. And I know that they they are very helpful if you earn their favor. And I think that I've earned their favor because of my basic need to help people and be loving and kind and patient and all of that. I think they want to help me because of that, because of this the standard of my being. So I also believe in aliens as well. I believe the creator created the aliens as well. I believe that there's life on other planets because there's so many other planets and different atmospheres and things like that. Sorry. And there was a meteorite that was found not too long ago that had elements in it that were not found on Earth. So I know there are other elements out there. So why can't there be other creatures or people or whatever you call them?
Mhm.
And I looked at Area 51, the declassified documentary, and a lot of the stuff that was declassified were actual sightings and evidence of aliens because they had to declassify them by law after so many years. I don't remember how many years, but and I think that's about it.
Sophia, are you back with us?
I am, yeah.
I was trying to ask Amber to retouch about her belief systems. Can you talk about your personal beliefs too?
Oh, okay. Um, Well, I believe in I live in England in the UK. Um, I was brought up without any religious beliefs whatsoever. I studied mythology when I was about 12 years old. Um, and so I've known the goddess for a long, long time. But decided to start searching for the divine masculine in order for me to be much more balanced. Um, and because of that, I came across witchcraft about 11 months ago. Um, so I believe in a creator. I don't believe that they're a mammal or human. I don't believe that they're gendered. I think they're far beyond that. Um, and I think, well, I just think that the whole creation on this world is just absolutely astounding. Um, and yes, I believe that everybody has feminine and masculine and probably neutral aspects to themselves as humans. And it's all a case of balancing those three streams within ourselves.
Sophia, I can understand some of the things that you're saying, but whatever you're using for a device for the microphone, try to speak right into there. I'm not sure why there's some kind of turbulence with you. It could be that 'cause you're across the pond like that. I can hear you in part, but it is breaking up in part.
Yeah.
So Amber, you had said that in your belief systems that you believe in angels, and my question to you, Amber, is and this came up in the core class chat room, do you believe that angels are much older than Abrahamic origins or much older than Christianity? It are they older?
Yes, I do believe that. Even in Abrahamic Christianity, they mention the angels having a war in heaven, where some left heaven, and that was before man was created. And I kind of am believing that. I don't know if they. I think what happened was that they were because the Christian God, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. This is just my opinion. But the Christian God is all about control and subservience. And yet he supposedly created us with the power to create inside of us. But yet he doesn't want us to create. And he wants us to just follow him as sheep. But I think the angels might have gotten that and decided that they wanted to go on their own for freedom, because in the Bible it says that we weren't supposed to eat of the tree of knowledge. Why did we not supposed to eat of the tree of knowledge? Knowledge is good, because I think that the knowledge would have made the Christian God angry, because then we would no longer be sheep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Right. And you're entitled to your opinion, for sure. And we all have our own personal beliefs. And I think that it seems like the common denominator with the class is, because we grow up in this Christian society, I almost feel like it's been embedded into us as a culture. And there's a lot of people grew up around that particular culture, and I almost feel like Amber, do you feel that Christianity is like like we've been almost domesticated? Like we grew up this way, and it has domesticated us, like almost enslaved us with that type of thinking. Do you think it's a domestication?
I think it's an indoctrination. I think we're indoctrinated.
What exactly is an indoctrination?
Well, like, okay, like, first thing that people generally do when they go to a foreign country, like say here in America, when they came over from British to England, rather, to America, there was Native Americans. And the Native Americans believed in a certain way. They believed in nature and peace and harmony. And then the English came over and pushed their religion and thoughts on the Native Americans to the point of killing the Native Americans or making them leave their homes. And that's indoctrination.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. In my belief system, I feel like that we're never less by dying. I'm a firm believer in reincarnation. I also feel like this, the culture that we live in is a domesticated culture, and you mentioned something about you believe in aliens and stuff like that, and how exactly can you elaborate on that? Like that's different.
Well, I believe there are different societies in the universe with different ideals, thoughts, and beliefs, just like different countries have their own ideals, thoughts, and beliefs. I've studied a little bit about it. I know there's the Palladians who are here to help us to grow and develop. And then there's, I don't know what they're called, but they're the lizard people, and they're here to harvest us, our organs, and do experiments on us and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. It looks like we lost Sophia, probably because across the pond, and I know we had some issues before, but I want to get into the law, the Hermetic law of vibration again, and touch back up on it. So, and also for people in the class that go back and watch the videos and stuff too. Everything in this world, according to the law of vibration, is moving, it's vibrating. It doesn't matter if they're solid, liquid, or gas. The only difference is how fast they're going, and what frequency they're vibrating. And I think it's important to talk about something that makes me smile every time I talk about it, but the proton, neutron, electron, and the three particles that are always revolving around the center, the nucleus center. And to me, that whole process it's like the same thing as like the planets when they revolve around the sun. And we learned before when we were talking about the law of correspondences that everything corresponds to another. And the universe is always vibrating and changing. The universe is always vibrating and changing, and so are we. We're always vibrating and changes. Amber, do you feel that we are always vibrating and we are always changing?
Yes, definitely. I definitely believe that. I can tell, like, from day to day, like, if I'm in a depressed state, then I feel like the vibrations are a certain way. And then when I'm in a good mood state. The vibrations are in a different pattern. But just the fact of changing from depression to a good mood is change as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When we move from one action to another, we change. When we make mistakes and we learn from our mistakes of the past and we apply it to like the future, so we don't make that mistake anymore, that's a change. That would be considered that's how the law of vibration works. You change. And also, the moment that we breathe, we change. Therefore, if you don't want to change, if somebody's like, well, I don't want to change anymore. Well, I got news for you. You can't stop the change because you can't stop breathing. That's how the law of vibration works. The Hermetic principle of vibration works from changing from one condition to another. And I think that occultically, magically, we have to really get in touch with that change and embrace it and welcome the change, because the only thing constant in the world, is change. To rehash, we're in a perpetual state of motion. Even the galaxy is constantly expanding. We're constantly changing. Thus, we can extract lessons from experiences and have actions to correct those mistakes, which literally means to change and make changes. Any thoughts on that one, Amber?
Yeah, I tend to agree because I think not all of the changes, but a lot of the changes are due to choices. Like if you're going to move somewhere, you have a choice of moving there and rearranging your whole life around a new place, a new area, new people, or you stay where you are and change in a different way. You have to adapt to maybe why you can't move over there or whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, does that make sense?
Sure. When you say, does that make sense? I always go right back to this thing where everything is true in one sense, everything's false in one sense, but everything is permissible.
Right.
The law of vibration and meaning is, your thoughts can vibrate, positively or negatively, and I want to take a look at that because the way that we were talking last week in class, but I want to make it clear that the Hermetic law of vibration, taken right from the occult archives, is that everything vibrates, everything. Nothing stands still, and nothing is ever at rest. And I think that is the core of the Hermetic principle of vibration. But one thing that I want to touch base on is our thoughts, that they can vibrate any which way, and they can vibrate for our best interest. And if we can manipulate our thoughts in a way that we manifest our own reality or tap into that frequency, I think that that's a key, in conjunction with a lot of the other Hermetic principles. But when dealing with positive and negative, it's a lot. And you said earlier, even within your own beliefs, where you talked about polarity. And polarity is a Hermetic principle in itself, and we're not there yet, but we're getting there. But within nature, and as I think about this, as I contemplate this, things learned from nature can't lie to us. Mother Nature doesn't lie. Immutable laws don't lie. They are the best teachers. But in nature, is there really a such thing as good and evil in nature?
No, no, there's not. There's just cycles. There's life cycles.
Right. So if one animal goes after another animal's young to feed itself and kills the young for survival, is that like is that really an evil act? Is there evil in Mother Nature?
No, that's a natural cycle.
Right. When we think of something in our head and our thoughts, when we contemplate it, it's almost like the vibrations of what we think about could manifest. Does that make sense, Amber?
Yeah, it does. I believe they can manifest with the vibrations.
Mm-hmm. So I want to get away from the thinking positive or thinking negatively. I think that within the the law of vibration, the Hermetic law of vibration, I think that it's whatever you think about, whatever your frequency is, the law of attraction is applied to it and could be drawn and manifested from it. Abundance, love and stuff like that, love or an abundance or prosperity or a need for something. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I I've read The Secret. Have you read The Secret, Harold,
No, I haven't.
or seen the video?
Mm-mm.
It's all about the principle of thinking positive and drawing things to yourself. It's the way we look at the world. If we look at the world with possibilities instead of disasters, we're more likely going to experience possibilities than disasters, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We attract those things to us with our vibrations. The vibrations attract things that are at your level or that you're ready for.
Mm-hmm. The Hermetic principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. And we know this to be like a scientific thing, that everything vibrates.
Yes.
And the vibration itself is is energy. When when we have that picture in our mind of somebody meditating and making balls and spheres in their hand and all these things, that's a vibration almost. Is that the principle of vibration or frequency, applied with the different hermetics, of mentalism and all them things kind of together. And we know that energy never dies because Mother Nature teaches us about, like you were saying, Amber, cycles. So the energy never really dies. Like the cycle, like the energy of the wheel of the year itself, where it cycles from, the birth of spring to the flourishment of summer and ultimately to the death of the winters. That wheel of the year energy just kind of, it never dies. It just turns into something else. By using the principle of vibration, we could control what we vibrate, the energy that we're putting out. And by doing that, we can control our environment, because that's ultimately what magic, is, knowing yourself enough, changing yourself enough internally, because we know that, real magic is done internally and affects the outside world. So when we vibrate, the energy comes out. Doing so, we control our environment. We raise our vibrations, we raise our frequency, we raise ourselves. Hermetic principle of vibration. Everything is in a state of constant motion and vibration. And I feel that it's closely related to the law of attraction.
Yes.
And can you tell us what the law of attraction means to you, Amber?
Yes, I can. It's like going out in the world and smiling and trying to build someone up that you see, like give them a compliment or whatever. Then good things start happening to you. You draw people to you. People want to help you. People want to be your friend, and the environment itself, it shines on you. These are just some of the things I practice every day. I try to make people happy. When I come across a person, I try to give them a compliment or smile at them or something like that, because I could change their whole day.
Mm-hmm.
And that changes the environment for them and you. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. It's hard to wrap your mind around that, really, that nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Like we're constantly vibrating. Like anything in the world is constantly moving in itself, even though it looks like it's holding still. It's vibrating. Like the trees outside, everything's moving. Yeah, it's interesting to go through the hermetic principles, and then it's really going to be interesting once we go through all 7, and then we start applying them to various functions of magic and witchery and the occult. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. I want to move on to the element of earth, as we're talking about earth. And earth represents structure, it represents strength, stability. The main thing that seems to be apparent is the grounding aspects of earth, how we can ground with earth. And earth is associated with grounding. And I was talking to somebody earlier when, like, if we take an electrical current and, with a vehicle, and you have like the battery and stuff, well, they put it on steel, and steel comes from the earth and it grounds it out, so it makes sense why earth is so, is utilized for grounding.
Yeah.
How do you ground, Amber, and what would you use? What kind of technique or exercise do you do to ground yourself? Like, have you ever had anybody say that, Amber, you're going nuts, you're out of control, you need to ground yourself? Is anybody
not exactly in that way, but yes. I have been told I need to ground.
Right. I mean,
a couple of ways that I use frequently. The first way is with earth. I get barefoot and I go sit where my feet are in the dirt or sand if it's the beach, and just concentrate on peace and letting things flow down into the ground. The other way I ground is in the shower every morning. I relax into the shower, just let the water pour everything off of me down into the drain. Those are the two ways that I've found success in grounding.
I looked at the comment section here, and some folks from the class are in here saying, "I'm here, thrice spoken, once fulfilled." I can't tell who it is from here, but somebody in the class says, "I beg to differ. I think there is good and evil." And my only, I mean, sure, everything is true in one sense. Everything is false in one sense. Yet everything is permissible. But I would like to say with that, I beg to differ that there is good and evil. Is there any good or evil in Mother Nature itself? I don't see good or evil in Mother Nature itself. I feel like good and evil is a human construct that like made itself prevalent with the rise of Abrahamic disciplines and religions and stuff like that. And that's a very interesting thing. That's a nice little rabbit hole to go down, because I don't think that within the scope of Mother Nature or immutable laws that good and evil even exists. And if it did, the only way you could go to any Hermetic principle is with the polarity things. But I just don't see good and evil existent in anything craft core. I see it more as survival of the fittest when it has to do with craft core. Somebody in the chat room says, mentalism can control our vibration that manifests in the physical world to enhance our lives. Bingo. My youngest got my laptop locked up with curse mods for Minecraft, trying to fix it now. That must be Sophia. No doubt. Thank you so much for being supportive. Yeah. So when dealing with grounding with the earth element, it's I feel like you can practice grounded by breathing. Focus in the breath, putting your feet in the ground, with no shoes, feeling the earth, or spending time in nature, gardening, connecting to the earth element through gardening, growing your own food, making your own outdoor space, cooking with different plants and herbs that grow directly from the earth. I think that would get you in contact and dealing with the earth elements a lot. What do you say, Amber?
I agree. Cooking is definitely grounding. I hadn't thought about it like that, but you're absolutely right. You're creating, but you're using nature to create.
What do you think about the concept of good and evil?
The jury is still out on that. I've got a couple of opinions. One is, like you said, there is no good or evil because nature is just cycles. There's nothing really good or evil in it. And on the other hand, I know that there are some very wicked people, but I thought about it, and some of the most wicked people have families that they were loving to. So, I mean, everything has duality to it.
Mm-hmm. And duality and polarity is another Hermetic principle in itself, and we're going to talk about that in the weeks to come. But yeah, for the next week, I think it's important if the class would think about the concept of good and evil. I like where that's going. I also like where we're talking about angels. There's a lot of angelic correspondences when it comes to ceremonial magic. I like that we're discussing that the angelic currents themselves are much older than Judaism, Christianity, Abrahamic, shotways, paths. I like where we're going with that. And I think that about wraps up our Wednesday meeting.
Oh, it went so fast.
Yeah, it did. It did. And, because I hope that you hunker down and it sounds like you're all right. And I wish blessings of people in the southern United States with Hurricane Idalia. So yeah, let us contemplate the idea of good and evil, and does it have a presence within Mother Nature itself? And let us explore the angelic currents and in what ways did they manifest themselves to humanity before Judaism and Christianity and Abrahamic religions. This is the Court Class. Thank you for week 4, Wednesday night. I'll see you Sunday night at 7 for week 5.
Thank you, Harold.